Hi all, welcome back to the Style Creation Workshop. We are in the 6th video now. This video is about one of the settings in the Style Creation page, which is called the Q mode. Q mode is a setting which controls the transition between two elements of a style. For example, if you have a variation and a fill both with 2 bars length, while playing the variation, if you change to the fill, when to start playing the fill and from which bar of the fill to start playing it. Let's go to the style record mode now. This is the Q mode settings in PA4X. This screen is from a PA900. Here it is shown as a different tab. There are 4 different options in the Q mode. Each option has 2 parts. The first part decides when to start playing the new elements. The possible values are immediate and next measure. Immediate means the new element will be played immediately after you press the button. If it is next measure, it will wait till the current measure of the current element to be complete to change to the new element. The second part is for specifying which measure of the new element to start with. The possible values are current measure and first measure. When current measure is selected, the new element will start with the current measure as in the current element, if the new element has a matching measure in it. If not, it will start from the first measure. If it is the first measure, the new element will always start with the first measure of it. You can set the Q mode only to the variations, fills and break. For the intros and endings, this will be disabled. And for the variations, only the last 2 items can be selected. For fills and break, the first 3 can be selected. I'll explain it in detail with the demo style. This is a style I created for demonstrating this feature. Let's listen to it now. We'll see the setting in detail. Going to the style record mode. I'm leaving the Q mode settings with the default options for the elements now. Both variation 1 and 2 have it as next measure, current measure. Let's play the style now. We started with variation 1. I pressed the variation 2 button when the bar 3 of the variation 1 was playing. It waited till the bar 3 of the variation 1 is complete and then variation 2 started from its 4th bar. If variation 2 doesn't have a 4th bar, it would start from the first bar. This is the effect of the setting next measure, current measure. Now for variation 2, let us set it as next measure, first measure. For variation 1, we will leave it as a default, which is next measure, current measure. Here I pressed variation 2 button while the bar 2 of the variation 1 was playing. It waited till that bar is complete and variation 2 started from the first bar. This is a setting next measure, first measure. I switched to variation 1 while the bar 3 of variation 2 was playing. So after that bar is complete, variation 1 started with bar 4. This is because in variation 1, the setting was next measure, current measure. So we can set different options in each element. Let's now do it for the fill one. We can select one of the first 3 options from the list. I'm leaving it as a default one, which is immediate first measure. When I pressed the fill 1 button, it started playing immediately and started with the measure 1 of the fill. This is because the setting was immediate first measure. Immediate means the arranger will not wait for the current measure of the current element to be complete to start with the new element. Only for fills and break you can set this option immediate. Now let me change it to immediate current measure. Now the fill started from the current measure of the variation. The second time I pressed the fill button while the bar 3 of the new variation was playing. So the fill started from bar 1. This is because there is no bar 3 in the fill. Now if the third option, next measure, first measure is selected, the fill will start only after the current measure of the variation is finished and will start with the first measure of the fill. For the fill 2, since it has only one bar in it, the settings with current measure or first measure will have the same effect. This is the use of the queue mode. You can set it based on the requirement in the elements. That's it for this video. I'll explain another setting in the next video.